Alaikum. In this video I'm going to explain how to multiply fractions. Multiply and divide fraction. But first let's start with multiplication. Multiplication fraction you'll get like this. In multiplying fractions, let's say this first fraction is 3 over 5 multiply 4 over 6. In this case you just multiply the numerators to get 12, denominators to get 30, and this is it. This is the main idea of multiplying fraction, but you need to do an extra step, because in this case 12 over 30 is not the simplest form. You have to divide it or simplify it to get the last or the lowest form of this fraction. How to do that? You have here 12 over 30, both of them are divisible by 6. If you see here 12 and 30, both of them are divisible by 6. So I need to divide 12 by 6 to get 2, 30 by 6 to get 5. So this is the lowest form of the answer. 12 and 30 are divisible by 6. Both of them are divisible by 6. So I need to divide them by 6 to get the final answer. But if you're dealing with big numbers like this, 12 over 16 multiplied by 24 over, let's say, 36. Now you're dealing with big numbers. If you multiply them directly, you will get something in hundreds and maybe even more, maybe 288, the answer of this. And 16 multiplied by 36 is a big number as well. You cannot simplify it. You don't know how to simplify it, maybe. You don't know how to deal with big numbers. So, to make it easier for you, you can simplify them in this step. As we did before, I have to divide a numerator and a denominator by the same number. You don't have to divide a numerator and its denominator. That means you don't have to divide this and this. You can divide 12 and 36. 12 is a numerator, 36 is a denominator. So yes, you can divide them. You can simplify them. If both of them are divisible by the same number, you can go with that. So let's start. Let's say 12 and 36, both of them are divisible by 6. So I'm going to divide them by 6. 12 divided by 6 is 2. 36 divided by 6 is 6. Again, I have one denominator and one numerator divisible by the same number, which is 24 over here and 6. Both of them are divisible by 6. So 6 divided by 6 is 1. 24 divided by 6 is 4. And yet again, I have the 4 here and the 16 here. One numerator and one denominator, they could be divided by the same number. So I'm going to divide them by 4. I cannot divide the 4 and the 2 because both of them are numerators. I need to divide a numerator and a denominator. So here, 4 divided by 4 equals 1. 16 divided by 4 equals 4. I had 1 here, I have 1 here. I cannot simplify these any longer, but I have 2 on top and 4 on bottom. One denominator, one numerator, and both of them are divisible by the same number, so I can divide it. By 2 gives you 1, by 2 gives you 2. So, for the final answer, I'm going to multiply the last number that got me here, which is 1, multiplied by 1 equals 1. 2 multiplied by 1 equals 2. So the final answer is 1/2. Without dealing with big numbers, just dealing with 24 and 16, 36 and 12, and you get the simplest form of the answer. Let's make a quick one, another one. Let's change it back to black. Okay, let's say we have 14 over 20 multiplied by 28 over 35. As you see here, you have 14, 20, 28, 35. Try to look at numbers that are divisible by the same number, and you have to choose a denominator and a numerator. One number from the top numbers and one number from the bottom numbers. Like denominators on bottom we have 20 and 35, and numerators on top we have 14 and 28. I have to choose a number from on top and a number from bottom. Don't forget that. So, as you see here, I have the 14 and the 35. Both of them are multiples of 7, so I can divide them by 7. 14 divided by 7 equals 2. 35 divided by 7 equals 5. 28 and 20 are both multiples of 4. So I'm going to divide them by 4, equals 7, equals 5. In this case, I have 2, 7, or 5, or 5. I cannot simplify them any longer because I don't have any two numbers that are divisible by the same number, and one of them is denominator and the other one is numerator. I have 5 and 5 over here. Yes, both of them are divisible by 5, but both of them are denominators. I cannot simplify them with each other. So I'm going to be like this. I'm going to stick like this. This is my final answer. So I'll multiply 2 by 7 to get 14. Or 5 by 5, you'll get 25. And this is your final answer. This is it. This is the main idea of multiplying fraction. You can multiply them directly, then simplify it, but you're going to deal with big numbers, or you can simplify them here in this step, then you get the final answer. Let's now start with division. Division problems are the same as multiplication, because even if it was a division question, you're going to make it a multiplication question. Let's say you have this 3 over 5 divided by 6 over 10. What you're going to do, the first step is 3 over 5. This is the first fraction will stay as it is. The division sign will transform to be multiplication sign, and the second fraction will be flipped upside down and make it 10 over 6. The second fraction should be flipped. 6 over 10 becomes 10 over 6. And then after that you're going to solve it as multiplication of fraction or as multiplying fraction. The same lesson as we took earlier. The same thing, 5 and 10 are divisible by 5. So divided by 5 equals 1. Divided by 5 equals 2. Divided by 3 equals 1. Divided by 3 equals 2, because 3 and 6 are divisible by 3. Divided by 2 equals 1. Divided by 2 equals 1. So 1 by 1 equals 1. And 1 by 1 equals 1. 1 over 1 is 1. Any number that gets you like this, over 1, any number that has a denominator of 1 equals the same number. Let's say 7 over 1 is 7. 8 over 1 is 8. 9 over 1 is 9. And etc. It's like this, and you don't think much of it. And even if you have a whole number like 12 and you want to make it a fraction, it's not hard. Just do a denominator of 1 and it becomes fraction. This is then 12 a normal number, whole number, you want to make it a fraction, you say 12 over 1. And that's it. The division problems are the same as multiplication. You're just going to make it a multiplication problem by switching the division sign to multiplication and flipping the second fraction from the left. If you're studying in English, you write the numbers from left to right. So the first fraction on the left stays the same. The second fraction should be flipped. If you're reading in Arabic or studying in Arabic schools, you're going to write the numbers from right to left. So the first fraction should be the same. The second fraction should be flipped. And that's it.